Record of proceedings produced in the minutes of the meeting. All comments made in open session will be recorded. Local scenes providing the service live on Comcast, Xfinity Government Access Channel 9. Those without cable will visit YouTube for live streaming. All right. My name's Frederick Casavan. I'm the chair. I'll let the other members just introduce themselves.
Ryan McDonald.
Chris McGrail.
All right. So we'll get going with the first case. 426. All right, notice is hereby given that the Pembroke Zoning Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing on Monday, March 30th, 7 p.m. Pembroke Town Hall, Room 6, on the application of Alluring Concepts at 32 Carroll Ave, Pembroke, requesting a special permit and a variance in accordance with zoning bylaws, Pembroke Section 5.5, non-conforming uses, and Section 4.1D2, front yard setback, to construct a front door vestibule with a setback of 16.5 feet from the street, and 40-foot setbacks are required for front yards. The property is located at 2 Oakdale Terrace, Pembroke, owned by Kayla Perry in Residential District A, Assessors Map B9, Lot 442. A copy of the application is available in the Office of Planning Board at Pembroke Town Hall. All right, so who's here for that one? I want you to just
Hello, I'm
introduce
Alicia Cislano Perry of Alluring Concepts, also of 32 Carroll Ave, member of the Pembroke Planning Board.
All right.
We're looking to propose to do the front vestibule, as well as technically, I guess we need the, for the carport that we want to add as well, because our setback, the structure is 23.8 feet back from the road, which most of her neighborhood is about 15 to 20 feet from the road as well. So we're looking for approval for that, to add that entryway as well as the carport.
Okay.
So is the pre-existing non-conforming use the lot size? So just right now, is that, what's the current?
The lot size is 1,250, so about a little over a quarter of an acre,
So that's the non-conforming use?
as well as the setbacks, because
Okay.
we would need a 40-foot setback in the front, which we don't have. Currently, the building is at 23.8.
Okay, so it's 23.8 is the current setback on the
I'm
front?
sorry, 22.8, my bad,
Okay.
from the shallowest point now. Mhm. And as we know, most of our neighborhoods in Pembroke, over 45% of them are non-conforming, and lot sizes lower than the 40,000 square feet.
And then the carport, is that, I was just looking at the pictures, is that,
Yes, so it's in the rendering as well as on the site plan as proposed carport.
right? So is it going to increase the setback into the side yard?
So the side yard, we have an appropriate
Okay.
setback, except for the front section of it,
Okay,
where we're
all right.
still within that 40 feet.
Right.
So we have a proper setback in the rear, in the sides, just not the front.
So the front's just this vestibule.
Well, the carport would be flush with the front of the structure, which is still non-conforming. It doesn't meet setback.
The only new nonconformity, would be the vestibule in the front, correct?
Correct.
Because the carport's not adding to it? Is you just,
The carport is adding, but we still meet our setback on the side.
right, but yeah, I guess the flush part of
The flush part of it
carport
would be
into the
technically-
in the front yard setback.
Correct.
So what's the?
I think the carport would just be a special permit.
Yeah, I think it would be.
Yeah. It's not creating any more nonconformity,
Yeah.
but the front is.
The front is. I do have a printout of the GIS showing other properties in her neighborhood, showing how they have less frontage or less setback on the front as well. So it is common in other towns. We don't have it in our town, where you can pull to what the average home is on the street for the front setback. So if somebody has 10 feet, you're allowed to go up to that. Where there are homes in her neighborhood, where she's on the corner, houses that don't even have 10 feet set back from the road.
What's the purpose of the vestibule?
A mudroom entry where her dog doesn't run into the street, because that keeps being her problem. Without having like these small ranches, they don't have a lot of storage and space, and she's just trying to give herself a little bit more room and keep the dog from running out into the road.
So what's the vestibule going up 6.5 feet?
Correct.
Okay. Chris, you got any other questions or anything?
No, I don't have any questions, thank you.
Brian?
No.
Is anyone here for this matter? No. And so what's your argument for allowing the variance on the vestibule?
My argument is that other homes in her neighborhood don't have the appropriate setbacks, even less than we're asking for.
Okay.
How many of those were granted variances to encroach further into the setback?
That I am unaware of. I could
Okay.
not get any of that data. Where,
You just know how far they are into the setback, but you don't know whether or not those were original setback.
Correct.
Or they were subsequently added.
but we basically, when we changed our zoning back in the 90s, we caused all of our homes to be non-conforming in over 40% of Pembroke.
Does there have to be a hardship or anything in order to qualify?
Yeah, it's gotta be based on, topography, soil, and without the relief, it would be a hardship. I mean, I don't have a problem with the carport, because you're not creating any more nonconformity.
Right, it would just be a special permit because you're just adding to the footprint of the building on the non-conforming
Yeah.
lot. So what is Alluring Concepts? I just don't know.
I'm a design builder
Okay. Design build.
and her stepmother.
So when you're saying her, that's,
Caleb Perry, the owner of the property.
okay.
And she can't go, we're trying to come up with a vestibule to help her with her dog not getting out. And we can't really go back because of the wetlands as well as her septic system. Then on the left, where she's on a corner, we could go out a little bit there, but
So when the
bedroom
dog,
issues.
sorry to interrupt, when the dogs get out, what is that, like when does that happen? Is it just,
It's just, she's having trouble keeping them, getting people in her house, like she's trying to create like a trap where she can get in and close the door so they couldn't run out in the road. It's very, like our small little ranches, you open the door, there's no foyer or something to stop them from going out.
and is this related to the business that's being run there, or is this just?
Nope, this is just her home.
Oh, okay.
This is, for her dog, she's had some problems with neighbor dogs, and so she's trying to come up with a solution to not have the dog try to burst out when people come to walk
Got
her
it,
dog and
okay.
things like that. Kind of like a Sally Port in a police
Yep.
station with a dog.
I don't know what you're talking about.
What's there now getting knocked down, or is that,
What was that?
is there a house there now getting knocked, like it's gonna be?
No, we've done some renovations. We've added another bathroom for her and kitchen.
Okay.
Where this is just adding on to the existing entryway for her to stop the dog and the problems of the dog getting out.
Right.
And I think it makes the house look more attractive on the front as well, because it's a little strange, so. Giving it some street character, street appeal.
Any other hardship besides the dog that you know of that this is gonna solve for her?
Storage, because she's a slab ranch with a truss system in her attic, so she can't, there's no storage in the attic, as well as there's no basement storage, so she's just trying to, you know, you buy a small house, but she's trying to maximize her investment and trying to get some additional closet space in there, as well as to help with the dog not getting out.
Thank you.
Anything else?
No.
Have anything else?
I like it.
Okay. And again, no one else is here for this matter, so, okay. All right, I mean, the carport, I'm fine with, I'm just not hearing a reason on the vestibule. Because I know all those lots around there are kind of the same, so it's not a unique scenario. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Chris, any more thoughts? Or?
Just rebuilding, redesigning it in my head to make it work, but I don't, that's not my job, I guess. Just force a habit.
So what they need, so if you were going off of what they're currently at,
So it's
If you go with
22.8 to 16 and a half, so they're picking up basically 6 feet further encroachment into the front.
right? And then the thing is, it is only 10 feet wide. So-
The vestibule?
Yeah. Like kicking out that little bit.
Yeah, it's 6.6 feet. 6 feet, 6 inches.
All right.
We'll do what?
Yeah. It's got, and you need it that size, right? This vestibule, the 6 by, oh, 6 in it, what is it, 6 by 10?
We could make it not a little smaller than the 6 feet. The 10 feet is kind of where it makes sense for closet storage and have appropriate egress, and
What
we
if
have
you-
to get
what if-
around the dog.
What if you went wider and shallower?
Wider doesn't necessarily help, because it would eliminate like windows in the living room.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Fair question.
So that's why we tried to plan it where keeping windows appropriate in the living space, but where she can still have closet storage on each side. So she'd be, if we had to make it not quite the 6.5, if there was another, bringing it back, but it's the expense to put where she's like a slab on grade, and it's
You're right.
like 6 inches. It's a large expense for a small. So we're trying to maximize it, but
All right. Do you have anything, if you had to shrink it, what could you go down to on the depth?
Anything less than like 4 wouldn't make any sense for it. Be able to have closet doors and stuff and open.
Right.
The 6 feet was a little bit easier because we could do like bypass doors on the closets to help alleviate the fact that we weren't trying to go wider for the closets, and not trying to, with door swings and such, coming in and out of that entry.
Okay.
With the thickness of the walls, you're losing a fair amount right there, just because it's such a narrow, not narrow, but
Right.
confined.
So that's why we went with the 6.5 to give her 6 feet almost clear inside, just a little shy, but to make it try to work.
Okay. All right, anything else?
No.
Chris, anything?
No, thank you.
Do you have anything else you want to add before we close?
Nope.
Okay. All right, make a motion to close the hearing, go into deliberation, get a second?
Aye. Or
Aye. All right. All right, I mean, it's a small addition, being 10 feet wide, but it's not hearing anything on.
Hardship.
Right.
Well, then, there is room in the setback on the, you know, this, again, the side of the house, you know, is there other places where this could go where it wouldn't be hitting the setback?
Right.
And I get the aesthetics of it, obviously, right? There's that, but that's not aesthetics isn't a hardship.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'm fine with the carport.
And then, I guess, you're gonna go 5.5 feet, what the hell's the difference between 5.5 feet and 6.5 feet?
Right.
Really not. I mean, it's a little bit less, but it's our, you know, the other thing is, it's already in the front yard setback, giving up 6 feet.
Right, there's a cute thing though that you can, that they, not they do, but it looks like about a 3-foot overhang on the front door as it is. You know what I mean? So I mean, there's another, looking at the picture here, you know, so it's not really bumping out too much per se.
Oh, right, the lip there.
Even though it doesn't touch the ground, that's like an old conservation trick, or, you know, they probably did that whenever the house was built, just on account of.
We can't hear you guys as well because the microphones are.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry about that.
Right.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I just haven't heard anything for the,
So I agree with the hardship statement.
Agreeing with that,
Lack thereof.
yeah.
yeah, I don't see anything with the topography or the lot size. I mean, it's all kind of the same around there. But the carport, I'm fine with the carport.
Yeah, and I heard storage too, I mean, but, you know, you could store, I mean, I don't know what can be done on the carport side for storage, I don't know what the storage needs are, but even that.
Yeah. Okay. All right, do you want to make a vote? Motion for a vote?
Second?
Vote second.
All right, so, I mean, I'm inclined to allow I'd be in favor of the carport.
No, correct, yeah, there's no issue there.
All right, and that's the special permit, right? All right, so make a motion to allow the request for the carport, which I believe is the special permit, and deny the request for the variance for the vestibule. Any discussion on that, or? Still good? Ryan, any discussion, or?
No.
Are you still looking? All right, you get a second on that motion?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, thanks. Did you get all that? Okay. All right. What's the agenda here? So we got next. Okay, on to the next matter. Notice hereby given that the Pembroke Zoning Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing Monday, March 30th, 7 p.m. Pembroke Town Hall, Room 6, on the application of James Arena, 35 Congress Street, Pembroke, request a variance in accordance with the zoning bylaws, section 42A1 and 41A4, garage storage of more than 4 automobiles, to construct a 30 by 50, 1,500 square foot metal garage structure for storage of vehicles and a small workshop for personal use. Property is 35 Congress Street, Pembroke, residential-commercial district, assessors map F9, lot 21A. Application is available at the Office of Planning Board of the Town of Pembroke, in the Town Hall. Who's here for that? Yeah, you should just come on up, introduce yourself and,
Hi, how are you guys? James Arena, 35 Congress Street, Pembroke. I'm just looking to build a small garage, I guess, in concept to some of the garages that are around me. Just a 30 by 50. I worked with Joe Webby on the design plan and location because I know that Conservation had some concerns originally about the river that's next to it. So we made sure that that was well within setbacks on that. Very simple. I know you guys have the schematics on the garage. 30 by 50. Nothing crazy. It's not going to have any no living space. It's just really going to be a garage with, you know, for a little workshop. I do a little tinkering, so nothing crazy, nothing on a commercial use, industrial, nothing like that. So, and it's just really the way I understand it is the bylaw just doesn't allow for garages over 4 cars. And I talked to Peter Belcrete about that, and that's, I guess, more or less based on square footage wise. So that's all I have for that.
okay. Yeah, we've had this issue come up with, the bylaw just says, whatever it says, 4 cars, and
Yeah.
it talks about pigs and something else. Because we had this come up before. Remember that case?
We've had a few of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think our position has just been, a 4-car garage, like what's roughly a 4-car garage, about 1,000 square feet, 1,200 square feet or something like
Right.
that. So I think just for the sake of our being consistent, did Pete, was it Pete Delpre?
Yep, Pete Delpre, yep.
Did he give you a sense on what you would need to do without getting a variance, like what size if it was?
Yeah, we didn't really get into that. He basically explained to me that, you gotta go through the motions. Basically what he said to me was, 30 by 50 garage in 2025 is really not a big garage anymore, because cars are bigger and, so he said it's kind of an older bylaw. He did say that basically the way to, he said in order to not do the variance is you can't store cars in there, and I didn't want to limit myself that way.
Yeah.
So I wanted to just do everything correctly, dot my i's, cross my t's, and so on and so forth. So.
Yeah, obviously you're gonna
Yep.
put cars in there.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
I don't know
Exactly.
how else you're storing
Yeah.
my garage, maybe there's no cars.
Right.
But, for me,
Yeah.
it's more just the size.
Mhm.
I was just looking it up because I don't build garages, but there's some here that says, well, you probably know, Chris, what's more of what do we say, like 1,000 square feet or something, the last one?
I can't put a we on that, because you and I have gone back and forth, and there was one that went to land court before that I
Yeah.
voted in favor of and you had voted against. So
Right.
I don't want to go on, have them say, well, you said this on such and such.
Yeah.
And then I think last month there was one that that was allowed. I don't remember the square footage off the top of my head, but it was more of a pole barn situation for some agriculture, and on the other end of it, it was like a mixed use situation, like without even a slab floor at the moment.
Right.
So the same but different.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I've suggested to people in the past, because I know his stance on it and my stance on it, is if it would behoove you to appropriate certain spaces for certain things, maybe that might get you what you want a little bit easier. And I'll say that on the record to everybody, because it says IE 1,200. It doesn't say 1199
Right.
or nothing. It says IE, which is, for example, it's a loose term, but it will behoove you to get what you desire, probably, to maybe delineate what your uses are. If you were to have a certain area for cars, and then if you had a certain area
Right.
for, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong in saying that, but then the way I read it, that's how I feel.
Yep. Yeah, and I kind of, if you look at the schematics, there's 2 larger doors in the front, and then there's a smaller utility door on the side. I have, obviously I do have a larger lot size, so I do have a small compact tractor. and I have a very small shed, so a lot of that storage is gonna be for, the compact tractor and the lawn mowers and the snow blower, so a lot of that is gonna really just be, storage per se. But I didn't wanna limit myself on, okay, well, I have 2 doors and that's it. And the other thing, that may come up is due to the height. I know that the height was a question. And the reason that I'm building it to that height is to, if down the line I wanted to ever put in, say a lift or something down the line, I didn't want to have height restrictions.
How high are your doors?
The doors are 14 feet tall. So both of those 2 main doors are 12 by 14, and then the back right utility door is just a 12 by 12. So.
Okay.
How many vehicles do you own it by yourself or with?
No, my wife and my mother-in-law live there, so that I have 3 cars right out of the gate right there.
But the owners have 2, and then one, or your mother-in-law has one?
Yeah, my mother-in-law has an additional vehicle,
Okay. So each owner has one, and then the
Correct.
mother-in-law? Okay.
Yep,
And then the tractor?
yep.
Yeah, I mean, I think, Chris, that one we were talking about that was attached to the house. Because they made.
It may have been,
they
I
made
just
like
didn't
a-
want to go on the record saying that we
Yeah,
were
they made
one
like
thing
a-
when I said another.
They made like a utility room out of the, remember a chunk of it?
Yeah,
They
there
made
you
that
go,
like
like
house.
this is delineation.
But that was attached to the house, so it was like
Oh.
part of the house. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I wanted this totally separate in
Right.
the, in the back corner of the lot, so.
I mean, does something more like 40 by 25 work? Because that's sort of that 1,000 square feet that we've been,
I guess more or less the way that I kind of had set it up was really more or less because once I start to get a little bit in each direction, I know it doesn't really show well on the plans, but a lot of that area becomes very wet. So 30 by 50 was kind of like a nice spot, gave me a little bit of parking area around it without having to bring in, crazy amounts of material to kind of dry stuff up, to do any sort of crazy drainage. Because I originally was gonna go larger, and when I walked the lot with Joe, he actually kind of brought me down. I was like, no. He's and he even kind of said, he says, you're gonna end up having a water issue over here and so on and so forth. So we kind of, where I'm not gonna have a foundation, not a foundation, but it's just gonna be a slab more or less. I'm kind of limited, it's not like I can put a sump pump on a slab.
right.
So,
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think just for consistency, I just need it shrunk down a little bit. I'm just trying to figure out what size would, I think like 1,000, 1,100 square feet, you can argue that's a good size 4-car garage.
yeah, I mean, I know I have on a butter on Old Washington Street, and he has a similar size garage, but his is just really vertical. I want to say his is probably 45 by 20. His is obviously in the middle of his lot.
Right.
And he was another abutter of mine, so I guess I really wasn't concerned necessarily on size, because he already has, he has one, but if the size is a concern,
Yeah, I was just thinking,
Yeah.
again, I looked at it, it looks like anywhere from like 800 to like 1,100 square feet roughly is like
Sure.
a large, like a 4-car,
Sure.
full-size, full-car garage.
Yeah, and I knew that this was gonna be a little bit outside of the realm of the 4-car garage that's allotted.
Right.
And Pete didn't really say necessarily what the square, like, he didn't say, okay, 1,000 square feet, that's what we call. So he didn't, when I originally went for permitting, Pete didn't really seem to have any issues. And he basically explained to me that, if there may be an issue from zoning, that you may reach out to him. And he made it, at least I understood that it was pretty clear that he didn't see any issues on his end. He had already reviewed all the plans, location. It had gone through all the departments and pretty much, just the red flag was the square footage issue, so.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure the structure and where you're putting it and all that's fine. I'm sure that's what, Del Prete was talking about. I just think in our bylaw, it just says 4-car garage, so I think
Right.
we gotta kinda use like a reasonable standard, like what's a 4-car garage?
Right, well, and that's why I'm here. so.
Right, no, I know, unfortunately, because in the other one, the prior building officer, had, if it was under that size or around that, whatever, call it 1,000 square
Yeah.
feet, he'd just give you the permit.
Right.
To build
Sure.
and tell you not to come here. So, I mean, that's where I'm at, just for consistency, about 1,100, I mean, I just did the roughly looking it up, you had what, a 30 by 50?
30 by 50, yep,
I mean, I really don't, on the square footage, care
right,
how wide you want it versus deep. I mean, obviously,
right.
You
Square
got it.
footage is square footage.
Right.
I guess it really doesn't matter how you cut it, more or less.
I mean, just using it roughly, so you were 30 by 50, if we did 25 by 45, that's like 1,100 square feet. I'd be more comfortable with that, just because I
Okay.
think you can see where it could go, because someone could be like, I'm gonna build a 2,000 square foot garage, because it
Right.
says 4-car garage, I
Yeah,
just got 4
yeah,
big
yeah,
cars.
and again, I didn't know if there was any other, if it mattered. I know I'm zoned technically residential commercial, which I'm not even 100% sure what that means.
Yeah,
You'd have to apply for an accessory dwelling.
Okay,
I believe that's correct, no? If you were to call it like a,
well, that'd be if he was gonna have like living space or something.
Yeah.
right, no, I didn't know, because I remember like East Coast Marine, there was a situation like that where they did something.
Yeah,
Either way,
that was-
we can't do it here, this is before us for
right,
that.
Yeah, it's just the way they define
Right.
detached garage.
right.
I mean, this thing probably needs to be.
Yeah, and-
It probably needs to be updated, and
Sure.
someone should probably say
Right.
a large 4-car garage
Yep,
is.
and that's why I haven't,
Right.
that's why I haven't done anything, I haven't,
Yeah.
done foundation, I haven't done anything, that's why I'm going the route I'm
Yeah.
going, because if we need to kind of, ideally, I'd like to stay with the 30 by 50, because it's already, I got everything proposed on the plans already. Rick, if you don't mind me asking, are you really, is the square footage really the issue, is that what you're?
Yeah, I just think it's when you're, if you're defining something as a 4-car garage,
Sure.
right? And this is the issue we ran into, and ended up going to court, was,
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
where does, you look up an average size 4-car garage, or a large 4-car garage, and,
Yep.
there's standards out there and
Sure.
what it is.
Yeah, how many square feet per vehicle, right?
Right, and I mean, again, I just looked it up on a couple places, and there was anywhere from 40 by 20 to 45 by 25 on the larger side. I just think we get a slippery slope and it's not your fault, but
Right.
if people are coming in saying, I want to build a 4-car garage and it's 2,000 square feet.
Sure.
And you go, well, is that really a 4-car garage, or is that?
Because we're really ignoring the language of the bylaw, because it's pegged to a four-car garage.
Yeah.
So if I
I mean,
had
the-
4 limos, it would work?
Yeah.
Now
Yeah. Personally use limos?
Yeah, yeah.
Your mother-in-law drives a limo?
Yeah, I would, yeah. I do have about 18 months, so sometimes.
I mean, I'd be comfortable with you were 30 by 50, if you took 5 off each, 25 by 45. I think that gives us, that's 1,100 plus square feet. I think my memory serves when we were discussing this, that was a good size, large 4-car garage that you can make an argument in the bylaw that that's a 4-car garage.
So you're saying, I just want to make sure that I understand, so you're saying going 25 by 45?
25 by 45.
I would suggest, again,
Sure.
that'd be 1,125 square feet, I think. I don't really care if you did, 47 and whatever, it was not as deep or something,
Okay.
I don't really, I guess it'd be more, I wouldn't limit you to the dimension.
Okay.
It'd be more the square footage.
Okay.
Would you mind not to exceed a certain amount of square feet?
Yeah,
type of
do
deal?
you guys have if I were to work within a square footage, as a board, as a whole, what would be a square footage number that you guys would prefer me work within?
Yeah, again, I just went on a few websites that sell garages and the
Sure, yeah,
standard
yeah.
sizes.
Oh, yeah, this has been a 2-year process for me.
Yeah, I mean,
so-
the biggest, one a few that I saw said a large would be 45 by 25.
Okay.
I think my math's right, that's 1125 on the square
Correct.
feet. So I don't want to limit you to the 45 by 25 dimension.
Right.
Because you might want to make it a little, whatever, narrower or
Sure.
wider. But just that square footage, so just that square footage couldn't exceed the 1125.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
it.
And then however you want to shape the building. it's up
Okay,
to
so
you.
15, we're saying 15 is too large.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, you lose 375 on the square from what you asked.
Okay.
So if that works, we could, are you guys comfortable with that, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris? We could, unless you want to add anything else, we can put it to a vote if,
Yeah, no, that would be it. Like I said, I'm gonna have to end up going back to the company and having a re-engineer, so I'm sure I may have to come back to you guys because the dimensions are gonna be differently.
well, I won't limit you to, I'll just limit you to the square footage.
Okay.
So not the 30 by 50 in the sense of, it's gonna be that exact
Make
shape.
it a triangle if you want.
Yeah.
The square footage.
But
is-
as long as that square footage is there.
Okay.
However you want to design.
25 by,
That was just what I did on a rough
Sure.
one. It said 45 by 25 was.
45 by 25.
But I don't care about if it's 40 by 30 or whatever.
Sure.
You're getting you know what I'm saying?
Yep, so it's basically a square footage number.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
not to exceed, I think.
So
would
I-
be the way to do it.
I guess this is more or less a question. So if I were to do that, I would have to go through this process again, correct?
No.
Okay.
No.
No, we'll vote on it if you get the, I guess, is it a variance?
Yeah.
I guess it's a variance, yeah, which inherently makes you think. They don't know what a 4-car garage is in the bylaws.
Right, I know, it
'Cause you're
was
asking.
very wishy-washy.
Yeah, it's not it's just, it should be defined better. So we're just trying to take like a common sense approach to
Yeah,
it. just
yeah,
to-
I think I pulled the bylaw, and I think that bylaw is actually handwritten.
Yeah, again, it talks about pigs and chickens.
Yeah, exactly.
So, okay, do you have anything else, Ryan?
No.
Chris?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Do you have anything else you want to add before we?
I don't believe so.
Is
no.
anyone else here for this matter? Are you for or against?
I was rising in favor of
Okay.
whatever you want to do, it doesn't affect anybody. But now you're defining an 1125 as a 4-car garage, you realize that, right?
Yeah,
You're setting a precedent,
right.
so that's a 4-car garage.
It can be.
Yeah.
Someone has mini cars and they want a 4-car garage and they want it smaller, they can have it smaller. But
Right, but what I'm saying is you're defining the maximum of a 4-car garage.
Yeah, when,
At some point, I'd like to build my garage too, so.
I think with your energy, because I know you personally, you should go and shake down that tree and change the bylaw, dead serious. Take that energy and go do that, because that can change the world, man. Go for it. Because I don't want to listen to any of these anymore either. I say build a garage, but I'm serious, change the bylaw.
So,
yeah.
that's the.
I know you know how to do it.
A 4-car garage that was my question. Now that we have a definition of what a 4-car garage, 1,125 square feet.
Yeah, you should do, actually, why don't you just come up to the mic, just so we get your name, just so it's on the record.
Sure. Mike Cohen,
Which you,
42 Congress Street resident.
okay,
I live right across the street.
and you're in,
No matter what size he builds it, it's not gonna affect any of the abutters or anybody in the area. So I guess the definition is, and I've always been, Chris knows, I'm always a stickler for definitions as to what something is, that's why I asked the question. I
Mm-hmm. right.
apologize, put you
No,
on the
you're not,
spot.
you're not apologize.
But now I'm learning the definition of 4-car garage is currently 1,125 square feet.
That's the way we see it, yeah.
Okay.
Assuming we vote that way. We still
What's that?
We still have to vote on it, so.
Right, well, like I said,
Yeah.
this is informational purpose for me.
Yeah, I mean, we got a bylaw that says 4-car garage,
Right,
so.
and as soon as he told me that, when he talked about, I'm like, what does that mean?
I know, it's a bad, the
It's
bylaw.
super gray, it's
Right, so we just gotta
unfortunately,
use.
and then, I don't know, say I have 4 large pickup trucks. Good luck fitting that in 1,100 square feet,
Yeah.
20-something feet long,
I-
8
I-
feet wide.
I don't disagree with you on the bylaw. but we gotta kind of take a reasonable approach to it and define it as best we can. It just, and we had a case that came down out of the land court that, agreed with that.
Agreed with how the 4-car garage is defined, or?
Well, in that case, they were trying to build something probably a little bigger than yours.
That was the Cadillac electric one, wasn't it?
I think so. Yeah, and it was, and we said the same thing, basically, we'd like to see it in that range that we just talked about. And, they appealed it and ended up losing, so.
Okay.
I'm not saying.
Finger pointing isn't all at us, it's,
Right.
Well, yeah.
beyond us. It goes
No,
to other
1125, I
people.
mean, if he needed 1127, doesn't mean we wouldn't give him 1127.
Okay.
I'm not saying that 1125 is, that's just or at least that's my thought. It's a reasonable review of the bylaw.
Like I said, I'm not saying it's unfair or fair or one way
Yeah.
or the other.
Yeah, it's just
I'm
that
just
we
letting you
have,
know, as an abutter or
Sure.
a resident of the same street, it's in my visual sight. It's not gonna affect, the 5 feet either way isn't gonna affect what I see. And
Right.
he's got he's got almost 5 acres, I believe, in that property. It's gonna be up back far enough away. It's not gonna affect the brook. I think it's a brook.
McFarland Brook.
Yeah, McFarland Brook. Oh,
Yeah.
Never remember if it's a creek or a brook or, because last time I was here, they were saying it's not even nothing, it's all dried
Yeah.
up, and now it's flowing a foot deep and it's flowing good, so, but that's from years ago. Okay, well, thank you very much.
yeah, appreciate it, so,
Always a pleasure.
Pleasure to you, Mike.
all right. I think we're good. No one else here for that matter? Okay. All right, I'll make a motion to close and go into deliberation. Got a second?
Second.
All's in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thoughts?
Kind of deliberated it through the argument.
Yeah,
I think what's before us is approving the variance, but with a condition for the structure not to exceed 1,125 square feet.
yep. Yep, and he said no business in there, so no living space.
We didn't get the height or anything on the record, or I don't think we need to,
It's
to deal with any
fine,
of that.
it's fine with the appropriation, with it where it is in the neighborhood. There's a mechanics garage right in front of
Yeah.
it on the neighborhood. Mayor Lou's is right on the corner. The street was closed down for about a year for 2 years. Nobody's even gonna see it, they just
Well,
put the
there's,
sign up.
and there's building codes on the height.
Oh, yeah, so
Oh,
that's
yeah.
fine.
Yeah,
I think
we're not-
you can't
we don't
go over
have
a
to
certain height
deal with
anyways.
that.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
We're not,
Yep.
the height
Board of
would
Health
be-
will deal with everything else.
You're right, because he's still gonna have to get the permit for it.
Right.
With the variance. Okay,
All
yeah,
right.
I'm fine with that.
All right, so make a motion to allow the request of case 5.26. Is that the case? 5.26? Yes, for the variance, to do a 4-car garage. But it's gonna be limited to 1,125 square feet. And just, there'll be no business conducted in there, and there's no living space in there, per the applicant. A second?
Second.
All's in favor?
Aye.
All right, guys, good luck. All right. She'll get a decision issued, and then it'll take a little bit, and then you just gotta get it, record it, and there's a little process you gotta go through.
Yeah, Lindsay will be in touch.
Yeah, if you need anything, let us know.
Awesome.
All right, guys, thank you. All right, into our last one here. So, notice is hereby given the zoning board of appeals will hold public hearing Monday, March 30th, 7 PM, Pembroke Town Hall, on the applications of Joe, say this wrong, Balkind, that, was it good? It's the E and the I, I don't know which way to go. 185 Pine Tree Drive, Hanover, requesting a special permit and 2 variances according with the zoning bylaws, Town of Pembroke, Section 5.5, non-conforming uses, Section 41D3, side yard setbacks, to construct 2 additions on the house and a garage addition. Proposed side yard setbacks will be approximately 8 feet and 12.75 feet on one addition and 7.5 feet and enclosing an already non-conforming porch on the property line for the other addition. For the garage, it will be constructed 8 feet from the side yard property line in 2 places. The property is located at 46 Blueberry Lane, Pembroke, Residential A District, as shown on Assessors Map B3, Lot 101. Copy of the application is available at the Office of Planning Board in Pembroke Town Hall. All right, Joe, you're here. You want you to just come up and let us know what you're looking to do?
So yeah, my name is Joe Gilkind. I heard some little scoffs, I guess, looking at it. So I just bought this house about a month ago.
Welcome.
Thank you. So basically, we want to do the 2 additions to the house. I think it'll be easier just to kind of focus on the house and then the garage, if that works for you guys.
Sure, yeah, go ahead.
So in terms of the house, I've already spoken to the neighbor to the left of me at 48. Her name is Hillary. We already spoke about not basically closing in the enclosed porch and just doing the 4x20 addition, which is in the green on your little plan there.
Okay.
And then the proposed addition on the right side, 6x30, still stands. I haven't had any correspondence with the neighbor to the right of me. As far as I know, he doesn't live there currently or anything like that.
Okay. So you're not going to do the porch piece?
Nope, we are not going to enclose that.
Okay. So that'll just remain porch?
Yeah, so
What is there?
the part that would hopefully not be enclosed with the addition would just stay front porch as it is now.
Okay. So the green would be the addition?
Correct.
And then the blue on the other side?
Yes.
Okay. It's kind of a funky shaped lot.
It is a very
Really is.
interesting shot. Lots
Yeah.
size.
It's like they put the septic in and pulled the tape measure off it and said, there's where the line's gonna be.
Yeah. That's so weird. Okay. I mean, the green piece is not necessarily creating more nonconformity.
Well,
I mean,
I guess to the extent, if the footprint is increasing, well, what the nonconformity is what's the existing nonconformity?
Or is this special permit or am I off? Am I thinking of the other one? No, I need a special permit.
Special permit variances.
What size is the lot?
The lot, I believe it is .23.
It's undersized.
Just a quarter acre. Roughly.
Yeah. I can double check.
I'm just guessing. That must be what the special permit's for.
The non, lot.
Oh, yeah, non-conforming.
Just to build anything on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
if you're adding to the,
So that's a special permit.
if there's a footprint addition, then
But
we
there's
gotta-
no new though, correct? Other than the garage?
There's no what?
There's no new nonconformity other than the garage, correct? Like greater?
Right, the nonconformity lot size is static, right, because it's not getting bigger, it's not getting smaller, it's just whether the footprint on the, so yeah, it needs a special permit, the nonconformity is not
Right.
increasing.
Yeah, it already does not conform the way it
I
sits.
agree with you.
What's the green gonna be?
So basically, that's going to be, basically, if you took away the green now and the way the house is on that left side, that is a hallway that leads to a bedroom. And right now, that hallway is basically like 28 inches wide, so I'm gonna widen that hallway walkway area, and also widen the bedroom, but also try to get a little bit of a mudroom space when you enter the door into that area.
So safety reasons for the hallway?
Yeah, it's, even I kind of have to shimmy on down it.
So in that green space, is there anything now there?
No, that's just
Total new construction.
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know if
correct,
you
yeah.
were capturing some of what was already there.
No, so
I get you.
basically, some of the front porch is there,
Okay,
but right now it's just like a garden bed. There's
Gotcha.
nothing built there.
okay. All right.
Yeah, so it's 16 and going to 12, and, 11 and a half going to 7 and a half on the setback there.
All right.
Then
Okay.
14.
Chris, you have any other questions, or?
No, nothing's really getting closer than it already is. You're adding structures, but I mean, the deck's obviously on the property line. The other corner of the house is about 6 inches off the property line, so nothing's closer than it is at the moment. You're just adding more closeness, for lack of better terms.
All right. What about this, there's one that says garage up front, is that not happening?
I'm sorry?
You have a garage too?
No, so we're proposing to build a garage.
Okay.
So, right, that's basically where it would go. I know it says 8 by 8 on that corner there. The 8 that's to the right is correct, but the backside 8 on that sloped boundary line, that's actually 11.5 off the setback, if that makes sense.
11.5.
When I did this, there was a mountain of snow
Sure.
there.
Okay.
So that will be a new,
Yep. Can that garage move in more?
In more,
Like
which
into
way?
the center of the lot, I guess? Like away from, I guess away from the lot line.
So with the septic there,
Mhm.
that is pretty much as far as it can go to,
You get 2 feet?
I'm sorry?
Can you get 2 feet out of it?
Basically, you want 10 feet as a
Is that
setback. I am pretty sure we can do it. I mean, if that's gonna make it happen, then I'm pretty sure I can make that happen. 10 feet off the lot line.
I mean, this
I'm
is
not
a,
speaking for them, I'm just.
No, I'm just, I was just trying to stay as far away from the septic area, because right now it's a mound, so I know I'm gonna have to build some sort of retaining wall in any shape and, form or whatever. But, for me, I was just trying to stay as far away from that as
Excuse me.
possible, not to incur any issues, but if you're going to give me the ability to do it, if I do 10 feet, then I'm sure I can make it work. I was just erring on the side of caution on my end.
can it move forward at all?
So basically, for right now, the closest part from the street, it's 36.5 feet off the street.
Okay.
If with this proposed area.
Oh, that's what that is, okay.
Yeah, so I just measured that off yesterday.
You catch it on all 3 sides.
Yep.
Yeah, so I was hoping to try to keep it there, because then obviously have 2 cars in the garage, and if I have a friend or someone come over, they can park still in the driveway without being on the street. It's only a 1-lane, 2-way
And,
street, so. So basically, I'm trying to fit a lot into a little area. I understand that, but
Yep. Okay. Is anyone else here for or against this? Are you all here for it? Okay, are you all neighbors?
Yep, I'm a neighbor, yes. Two neighbors, and two
Two
parents.
parents.
Okay.
I'll also be a resident there, so.
Okay, so there's.
All these people like you.
All right.
it became very expensive to get them here, but yes.
they like the plan, that's what they
Yeah.
like.
Do on Blueberry Lane.
Yeah,
I know.
Nobody has normal lot lines.
right.
Nobody.
I mean, so I think in your favor is you got a really funky shaped lot. And if you read the standard for a variance, that's one of the factors is the shape.
Okay.
Not the size so much as far as square footage, but the shape. And that's if this was more of a box, you'd probably have a lot more ability to do things without needing a lot of relief.
Right.
How close, the house, I guess if you're looking at the picture to the right? The one that I think you
neighbor's house?
I think you said the ones you didn't hear from.
Yeah.
How close is that house to the
His
lot?
house is between 6 and 8 feet off the property line.
Okay, so he's.
And
right
then
there.
same thing with the house to the left is maybe a little bit more. It's probably 12 feet off the lot line in that upper corner there.
Just this guy here.
Yeah, that structure's in there.
I was talking along this side.
I know you were still talking about the one on the
Yeah.
right. That's not shown, but
Oh.
the one on the right is about 6 to 8 feet off. And if you're looking, like his closest corner to my house would be about here on the plan.
Okay.
And it kind of goes back like that.
Okay.
But yeah, it's about 6 to 8 feet.
So
I
his-
didn't measure it, just looking at it type of thing.
So his house is set back like yours is on his lot?
Correct, yeah, it's pretty
Okay.
much, our house is, all the houses on that little stretch are basically right.
Right,
right
just
on.
kind of in a row?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right, so no one's here against it, just some neighbors and family here for it, just for the record. The garage is 28 by 28. So certainly not too big, but,
I based that after parking our 2 cars there. And
well, you heard my spiel on.
I know, I did, and I was like, that's not looking
You sure you
good.
don't want a 4-car garage?
I gotta take my shoes off to multiply that high. 784, you're within the parameters.
Yeah, well, it's only 2-car garage, you cut it in half. Still close.
No pigs or anything, right?
No pigs, no pigs. The dog looks like a pig, but, sorry.
Cute one.
I mean, I'm fine with, like, the green piece. I mean, the blue ones,
Mine are
Can you-
different colors.
I was gonna say, I have different colors on mine.
oh, okay. Yeah, I'm sorry.
We don't have the color printer, so I
Okay,
have
I got
Blue
you.
and, blue and green. Green's a smaller one.
The 6 by 30.
Yes,
The 6 by 30 is the blue, the bigger one.
mine's yellow.
I mean, can that come off of the line any?
If you shrunk it towards the garage, it'd move farther away from the house, farther away from the lot line. If that makes sense.
I guess if you took away it wasn't 30, it was something else, you'd be gaining the,
If it was 25, you might get another 2 feet out of that.
8's just close.
Yeah, so bring it, I can do that, basically, 6 by 25.
What we can do is, if the board's inclined, we can limit it on the side setback, and then however you position it.
Yeah, you say 10 feet, and then 10 feet equals whatever it equals.
If you climbed up
on the-
this area, you could probably, I don't know,
Okay.
rise over run or something.
There's some grass paper here.
That's how we did it. Basically, the whole reason for why I was going to 30 feet is that second bedroom ends right there, so I was just trying to,
Oh, no, I'm sure the design makes sense.
for the design reasons only.
It's just,
They don't care, they don't
what,
If they want 10 feet, they want 10 feet, it doesn't matter what the hardship is. Doesn't matter.
He's looking for the storage space because the house is only, what is it, it's around 1,000 square feet. It's on a crawl space, so he can't go down, and
They don't
so
care.
anything extra.
So you're-
Well, I do care, but the other gentleman that was sitting there
I know.
on about the precedent, he's not wrong.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you gotta be careful what you give to who and this and that and the other
Yeah.
thing, because otherwise it becomes gospel.
Yep.
okay, anything else, Ryan, or
No.
Chris? Okay, what would you say the hardship is?
Basically, I mean, for the green space there, it's really just making that hallway more manageable to get into that bedroom. Space is a big thing. Just, it was built in 1954, it's just kind of like a summer cottage, and now I'm trying to make it my, forever house type of thing. And obviously, can I live in it the way it is? I can make it work, but it would be a little difficult to make it happen like that.
Well, 28, and I'm not trying to answer for you, but in
No.
my personal opinion, for somebody who loves his family, it's a safety issue. For,
Yeah.
Now, a hallway is 36 inches all day, 28, like,
Right.
God forbid the dog's sleeping on the floor, you try to get out, pig again. But,
But it's trying to make the house work better for, 2026
Okay,
in terms of just safety, space, storage, and whatnot. And the garage is just for every reason that everybody wants a garage.
yeah. Okay,
jet skis.
No, I'm not into those.
It's the only reason they're here, you bought a house in the water.
I know.
So I mean, the garage, I need 8 feet, 10 feet, I mean. And you said that garage can't shift over. Okay.
I think setback off the system is 10 feet. I'm willing to bet you got 10 feet there, all of that. But I don't know what the contour looks like, because you said it does mound.
Yeah, it's a pretty good mound, and when I measured it out, the left corner was pretty, because this isn't really, this is kind of the scale on there, but it does come over a little bit more. So I'd have to do a little bit of digging on my end to make sure that if it does shift, and obviously if I want to keep it 28 by 28, that it would work with what I got. But are you saying there's a certain setback from the actual septic
Yeah.
system that a structure
It's
needs to
not
be?
within my control.
No, I understand that.
It's more of
No, I
a
understand
Board
that.
of Health thing, but I'm saying for safety reasons.
Right.
I'm not
So
gonna
I
ask.
cannot say, I can't say what it is currently. Like, I don't know where 10 feet is or 15 feet is now. I didn't really realize that that was a thing. But I can pretty much confidently say that with that 8 foot, I'm pretty sure I'm far enough away from where the septic is established now. But I would have to do a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, if we gave the variance, I'm not sure, if, let's say we said it's gotta be 10 feet or 12 feet or something off, you'd have to comply with that, and then if on the other side you're running into the septic,
Right.
and
I'd
I
have
just
to
say
make
asking
it,
for 20, if,
Yeah.
you'd have to,
I'd have to
ultimately
make
shrink
this
that
smaller.
building
Yeah.
without having to come back in here and get like another variance, so.
Right.
But as far as, do you need front setback too?
What?
Do you need front setback or just side?
Because it's not 40.
It's a side setback,
Okay.
right?
Well, the front's 40, but
Oh, yeah.
do you have 40 feet from that to the,
I have 36 and a half feet to the street from the front of it.
Off the garage, you mean?
off the garage?
Correct.
It's supposed to be 40. I don't see a request for that.
No.
Well, would you say 36?
The street goes past the property on an angle.
It's 50 on the right
Corner.
side
Yeah.
corner,
Okay.
and it's 36 and a half on the...
36, okay.
So obviously, if I have to bump it another 2 feet off the property line to get that 10-foot setback, it's gonna be even
Yeah.
closer to the street.
Right.
It's not non-conforming in another way.
So 36 is here. Well, I don't think he didn't bring a request. I don't see a request for that variance, assuming, I'm not sure. What is it? Because you need a
It would be a
variance for
front yard
that.
setback.
Yeah, 40.
Right. But I think you filed your application, this was all submitted, right?
Yes.
So I think the spirit of what he was requesting was a garage there, and, so I don't think you need
Motion to
to,
conform the pleadings to the evidence?
yeah, I don't think you need to
These guys are lawyers.
apply, well, I'm trying to, I don't want you to have to
No, I don't want to come back. Yeah,
amend
I
the
don't want it to work. I want to be able to leave here with
so much
hopefully a
law.
yay, nay.
Yeah, because they'd have to repub it and everything, so
Yeah.
my position on that is, there was enough in this package that someone
Yeah,
could
he
look at
wasn't
it.
trying
There's nothing,
He
yeah,
wasn't
there's nothing
trying to
more he's
hold
gonna give us other than the schematic he did,
Right,
other than draw an arrow with 36.5 off the
right, and
the front left corner of the garage.
and all the neighbors who were gonna come came, and they were in favor of it anyway,
Right.
so, okay, so we can, if we grant the, or whatever, however we grant it, we can work that into it,
Okay.
because you didn't technically like ask for that. And this size garage, I don't really care about the size, it's more just the setbacks. I'm just looking at it, assuming you can't go towards the septic. Is there a way to, because we were talking maybe 10 feet, can you shrink that garage down to like 3 more feet, like a 25 by 28?
So 25 width?
Yeah, so you're pulling off of the lot
Yeah,
line.
right.
Does that make
But
sense?
keeping the 8 feet setback, or are you just trying to say we're gonna go 10 feet?
Well, you could
off.
keep, well, shrinking it down anyway would be good, but you said it's 11 and a half off the back, right?
Correct.
Okay, so you have 11 and a half feet there. I mean, if you shrunk it in a couple feet, then you're getting into that 10, 11 feet, which we've done in the past.
What if we just, can we just reappropriate, for lack of better terms, and say we say 15 off the back and then call it 30 in the front and 10 off the side? I mean, we're kind of just walking around with a stick at a place to think somewhere. It might suit better that way.
8, 10.
No is an acceptable answer. I'm just trying to.
No, I'm just,
And as far as like the closeness to the septic system, if we were to propose, I mean, obviously you can't build any closer to the septic system than it's legally allowed.
Right.
You know, so if we were to call it 10 feet off the side and then whatever we do with the front and the back, he can't do anything unless the building department says he can anyway, so then he would be forced to shrink the structure, and it wouldn't have anything to do with us, it would just be the size of the structure.
yeah, it'd just be shrinking it from the other side, though.
Right.
So the setback would be the same, yeah. Okay.
I see what you're saying, Chris.
You know, so like we could, if we were all inclined to, grant said relief, and then if the building department says, no, this is too close, the variance would still hold, he'd just have to then go,
Right.
or,
Depending on where 10 feet off the septic system is.
right. And
So if we say 10, you know, we're just spitballing.
Assume-
10 If we say 10-foot side yard, right, he has as much room as he needs to the septic system to make it 28 if he needs it.
Right, and that's, yeah,
And
that'll
if
be,
it's too close, he can make it 27 as long as that 10 remains static.
where it could be point, we can fraction it, whatever it is.
Right.
You know, that should be up to the building department.
Alright, so, and remember, you said 11 and a half?
It's 11 and a half
Just
off
call it
that back
11. Just call it
corner.
11, so that's 9.
It would be more, so if we do end up, if you do ask me to make it 10 off the right sideline, that would be even greater than 11 and a half then, if that makes sense, because
Yep.
that's on an angle.
Well, why don't we just, if we're gonna, we'll say that it's 11. All right, so Chris and Ryan, so as we look at this, right now they're asking for 8 feet.
You on the 6 by 30?
Yeah, no, the 4 by 30, 4 by 20.
Got it?
So they need 8 feet at the, well, here's, it says 12, so he needs 8 there, and then he needs 12 and a half on the other spot, right?
12 3/4, well, 12 3/4, 8.
As proposed, it would go from, using his math, 4, 6, well, at the angle, from 16 to 12, 11 and a half, 7 and a half, right?
Yeah.
And what you're saying is, you want to go 12 and a half?
Well, I'm just wondering what the amount of relief that he needs. He's gonna be into it, how far? 7 and a half, so we,
12. From, these numbers here on the 4 by 20,
Yep.
are you saying that's based upon the size of the 4
Based
by
up-
20?
Yes.
You're gonna be now 12 feet into the side,
Correct, and then.
7 and a half from the
Cor-
front
correct.
left
Yep.
corner from the street? And then the same on the 6 by
Same.
30,
Yep.
12.75
Yep.
from
and
the
8.
front right corner, and then 8 on the back right
Correct,
corner?
yeah, that's what the setbacks would be off of the proposed
I have it in
additions.
color on my iPad, I don't know if that's any.
Oh, no,
I
it's
don't,
clear.
yeah, we were just,
It's clear.
Okay,
So 16 to 12 on the 4 by 20, 11 and a half to 7 and a half.
yeah,
As far as the diff, the delta. And then 14 to 8, and 18.75 to 12.75.
okay. All right, Joe, do you wanna add anything else, or?
That's pretty much it, I think,
Okay,
yeah.
okay, all right.
So we can make this 10. There's no way he can, that one can't move,
No,
because the lot line doesn't, it's not at an angle, it's getting tighter as it moves.
right,
I don't even mind them. I mean, obviously it's not ideal, but nothing is closer to the fence or the property line than it already is.
Yeah, the green one, it didn't really bother me either, because,
Well, there's no structure like next door that's
well,
right on
and
top of it either.
the corner of the house is right there. I mean, that, the other side, I agree, I think that's gotta come in a little bit to that 10 feet.
Yeah,
At
that's
the,
reasonable.
so we could just give them the 10 feet on that side if we go that way, and
Wherever the
This
10,
side will
wherever the
never-
10 lands, or
Yeah,
whether it's
right.
21,
As-
27,
as we do
28.
with the garage.
Yeah.
okay, and then, okay. All right, make a motion to close and go into deliberation. Second? All in
Second.
favor?
Aye.
All right.
Yeah, so just to be clear, variance for the 4x20 would grant the variance as proposed. For the 6x30, it can't exceed 10 feet in its side, right?
Mhm.
And then same with the 28x28 garage.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm fine with the relief on the garage, and then whatever the code is, be it 10 feet or wherever it lands, is, that'll be up to Pete and
But like you said, that'll be self-regulating by the Board of Health and the building
Yeah.
permit.
pretty much.
okay. Make a motion?
Motion to close deliberations.
Then move to a vote.
Yeah.
Move to a vote.
Second?
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Aye.
All right. So I guess we make a motion to allow the variance on the 4x20 addition on the side setback. That's shown on the plan, the structure being 4x20.
Second.
Okay. On the 6x30 addition, that's gonna be no closer than 10 feet to the property line
In the side yard.
on the side.
Side yard
excuse me.
setback, yeah.
Second.
And for the proposed 28x28 garage, he said it's 11 feet, but I think we'll just do allow that variance. It's gotta be at least 10 feet off the side.
Second.
Second. And
Special
then,
permit.
yeah, we'll move to allow the special permit for non-conforming uses due to the lot size.
Second.
Okay. Any other discussion?
I'm good with all of them.
All right. We can take a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank
You
you.
guys are good.
You did a good job.
I'll be in touch.
Yeah, she'll get in touch with you, then
I'll let you know.
they'll have to draw up a decision. Then you gotta record it and do a few things. And then, once you do all of that, you can go see the building department. You can probably start that process.
Yeah.
There is an appeal period, but usually it's neighbors that would appeal it, so. You got 20 days if you want, so. Well, it's 20 days from when the decision gets filed, so.
No, that's why I wanted to start it now, start earlier.
All right, well, good luck.
Hey, welcome.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
And then, just make a motion to approve the board minutes from February 26, 2026. Got a second?
Second.
All's in favor? All right. Meeting adjourned.